Forensic science is a discipline born of necessity and sharpened by time. It bridges the worlds of science and law. Over centuries, as humanity's understanding of the natural world deepened, so too did its ability to uncover the hidden truths behind crimes. In this journey, we'll revisit 5 landmark cases that not only reshaped forensic science, but also revealed the evolving relationship between technology, society, and justice. Our story begins in 80 BCE, Rome, a city of grand architecture and even grander ambitions. A Roman named Sextus Roscius was accused of parricide, or killing his father. His trial stands as one of the earliest recorded moments where forensic reasoning played a pivotal role. In this era, justice was often brutal and symbolic, especially for a crime as grievous as killing a parent. Parricide was viewed as a heinous betrayal of familial and societal bonds. The punishment? Poena collae, a sentence both horrifying and symbolic. The condemned would be sewn into a leather sack alongside live animals, a dog, a snake, a monkey, and a rooster. Each creature held a distinct symbolism in Roman beliefs, representing chaos, treachery, and discord. This grim ensemble was then cast into the Tiber River, a public spectacle meant to purge the stain of such an egregious crime. Sextus Roscius stood accused, but the true gravity of the case extended beyond his fate. The accusations came at the behest of powerful men, eager to claim his estate. The stakes were not just personal, they were political, a battleground for Rome's elite. Cicero's defense was nothing short of revolutionary. Where others might have crumbled under pressure, Cicero wielded logic and forensic reasoning to expose the corruption lurking behind the accusation. His line of questioning was razor-sharp, cutting through layers of deceit to reveal a conspiracy orchestrated by Roscius's own relatives. Through precise questioning, Cicero revealed critical inconsistencies. He highlighted the improbability of Roscius's presence at the crime scene and cast doubt on the supposed motive. More damningly, he exposed how, within hours of the elder Roscius's death, his property had been seized and redistributed to the very men accusing his son. Cicero's arguments illuminated a web of greed and political maneuvering, turning the trial into a referendum on corruption within Rome's most powerful families. Cicero's defense not only secured an acquittal for Sextus Roscius, but also marked a watershed moment in the history of Roman law. His methodical approach to dissecting motive, timeline, and credibility laid the groundwork for forensic psychology and motive analysis, concepts that underpin modern criminal investigations. The trial of Sextus Roscius demonstrated the power of forensic reasoning in a world dominated by rhetoric and power plays. Cicero's groundbreaking approach not only saved a man's life, but also set a new standard for justice. In the annals of history, Cicero's defense of Sextus Roscius is more than a courtroom victory. It is a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the pursuit of truth through reason and evidence can dismantle the most insidious of conspiracies. In 1836, a quiet English village became the stage for a murder that would change the course of forensic science. The victim, George Bodle, a farmer who fell gravely ill after drinking his morning coffee. Suspicion immediately fell on his grandson, accused of lacing the drink with arsenic. At the time, proving such a claim relied more on circumstantial evidence than scientific certainty. until one chemist stepped forward with a groundbreaking method. Arsenic, known as the inheritance powder, was a favored tool for silent killings in the 19th century. It left no trace detectable by contemporary means, allowing murderers to escape justice with unnerving ease. But James Marsh, a chemist with an insatiable curiosity, sought to change that. His creation, the Marsh test, would become a cornerstone of forensic toxicology. The Marsh test was a revelation. By combining a sample of bodily fluids with zinc and sulfuric acid, Marsh could produce a visible residue if arsenic was present. This simple yet ingenious reaction provided the first reliable means of detecting poison, turning suspicion into irrefutable evidence. In Bodel's trial, Marsh demonstrated his test, but there was a problem. The samples had been poorly handled, leading to inconclusive results. Despite the groundbreaking nature of his work, the jury remained unconvinced, and the suspect walked free. It was a harsh lesson in the necessity of rigorous forensic protocols, a lesson that would shape the future of toxicology. The Marsh test, though imperfect, was a turning point. It proved that science could unmask even the most insidious crimes. Over time, forensic toxicology evolved into a highly sophisticated field, capable of detecting minute traces of toxins that once seemed undetectable. Today, forensic toxicology is an essential tool in criminal investigations, providing clarity in cases of suspected poisoning. Its origins, however, lie in the dimly lit lab of James Marsh, a testament to the power of scientific ingenuity in the pursuit of justice. The Whitechapel murders revealed the critical flaws in 19th century investigative practices. Crime scenes became spectacles, with onlookers and journalists trampling through vital evidence. Today, these crime scenes might have yielded a wealth of forensic data, but in 1888, the absence of procedure left investigators with little more than conjecture. Consider the case of Mary Ann Nichols, the first canonical victim. Her body was discovered in the early hours of August 31st, 1888, on Buck's Row. Blood pooled beneath her, her throat slashed. Yet by the time investigators arrived, any hope of preserving the scene was already lost. Passers-by, drawn by the horror, had gathered, contaminating what little evidence might have been present. Without proper protocols, detectives relied heavily on witness statements, many of which were conflicting or unreliable. No photographs captured the original state of the scene. No forensic samples were collected, and vital timelines were lost in the confusion. If modern techniques had been available, the narrative might have been very different. Blood splatter analysis could have revealed the killer's position during the attack. DNA from the victim or the killer's clothing could have linked Jack the Ripper to his crimes conclusively. Even the soot and grime of Whitechapel's streets could have provided trace evidence, painting a clearer picture of the killer's movements. In the case of Catherine Eddowes, the killer left behind a vital clue, a piece of the victim's apron found several streets away, stained with blood and feces. Today, this fragment could have been analyzed for DNA, providing a direct link to the murderer. But in 1888, it served only as a grim token of the killer's boldness. The case of Jack the Ripper reminds us of the immense potential forensic science holds in solving even the most gruesome mysteries. Procedures like crime scene preservation and forensic analysis are not just technical advancements. They are safeguards against the chaos that once defined investigations. Out of the chaos of Whitechapel emerged the foundations of modern forensic practices. Though Jack the Ripper's identity remains a mystery, His shadow looms large over the history of criminal investigation, serving as a grim reminder of the cost of disorganization and the vital importance of meticulous forensic work. On the night of March 1st, 1932, an intruder breached the serenity of the Lindbergh home. Under the cover of darkness, the infant son of Charles and Anne Lindbergh was taken from his nursery. By the time the household discovered the empty crib, the kidnapper was long gone, leaving behind only a ransom note, its jagged, hurried script a chilling message that would ignite a nationwide manhunt. In what would become known as the crime of the century, the Lindbergh kidnapping captured the nation's attention. As authorities scrambled for clues, they found themselves relying on an unconventional form of evidence: the handwriting in the ransom notes. This case would bring forensic handwriting analysis into the spotlight, setting a precedent for its use in criminal investigations. Handwriting analysis was not the only lead in the case, but it became a crucial piece of the puzzle. Investigators began with the ransom notes themselves, 9 in total, each one escalating in demands and urgency. They were riddled with odd spellings and peculiar phrasing, pointing to a writer for whom English was likely a second language. This was the first clue in a long chain of evidence. The break in the case came in 1934, 2 years after the kidnapping. Investigators had recorded the serial numbers of the ransom money, and on September 18, 1934, a gas station attendant in New York City noticed a $10 gold certificate that matched one of those numbers. This small discovery led to the identification of the man who had passed the bill: Bruno Hauptmann. Hauptmann's arrest was the result of dogged investigative work. A search of his home revealed more than $14,000 of the ransom money hidden in his garage. But it wasn't just the money that implicated him. Investigators found connections between Hauptmann and the crime through the very tools he used. The latter used in the kidnapping was traced back to wood from Hauptmann's own attic, its grain and saw marks matching perfectly. This physical evidence, combined with handwriting analysis, painted a damning picture. Experts compared the ransom notes to samples of Hauptmann's writings and identified distinct similarities, such as his irregular formation of the letter R and uneven letter spacing. Handwriting experts testified that the notes could only have been written by Hauptmann. Despite the defense's attempts to discredit handwriting analysis as subjective, the weight of the evidence, including the handwriting, the marked bills, and the latter, proved overwhelming. Hauptmann was convicted and sentenced to death. The Lindbergh case set a precedent for the use of handwriting analysis in criminal trials, but it also highlighted its limitations. Today, the technique is far more refined, supplemented by digital tools that eliminate much of the subjectivity of early analysis. Combined with other forensic methods, handwriting remains a valuable tool in the investigator's arsenal. The capture of Bruno Hauptmann was a testament to the evolving nature of forensic science. While handwriting analysis alone might not secure a conviction today, in combination with other evidence, it provides a powerful layer of insight. The Lindbergh case demonstrated the importance of thorough investigation, where even the smallest details, a letter, a grain of wood, can reveal the truth behind a crime. Though the crime shocked a nation, its resolution laid the groundwork for modern investigative techniques. It remains a stark reminder of how innovation, persistence, and attention to detail can bring justice, even in the most complex cases. In the early 1980s, a series of disappearances and murders in King County, Washington, set off alarm bells. Women, many of them vulnerable and marginalized, vanished without a trace. Their bodies began to appear along the Green River, leading to one of the most extensive and grueling investigations in U.S. history. For nearly 2 decades, the Green River Killer eluded justice until a technological revolution turned the tide. Between 1982 and 1984, more than 40 women were found murdered, their bodies dumped along the Green River and nearby areas. Despite the sheer number of victims, the lack of forensic technology left investigators with little to work with. Crime scenes were contaminated by the elements, and physical evidence was scarce or inconclusive. For years, the case remained a frustrating puzzle, with no clear picture of the killer. By the late 1980s, suspicion had fallen on several individuals, including Gary Ridgway, a local truck painter with a history of soliciting sex workers. However, without concrete evidence, Ridgway slipped through the cracks. Investigators relied on outdated methods, unable to link him definitively to the crimes. It wasn't until 2001 that a breakthrough finally came. Advances in DNA technology allowed forensic scientists to re-examine biological evidence collected from several victims. Using newly developed profiling techniques, they matched DNA from the crime scenes to Ridgway. This once elusive killer was now inextricably tied to the murders. DNA profiling had revolutionized forensic science by this point, providing a level of certainty previously unimaginable. In Ridgway's case, DNA evidence became the linchpin that secured his conviction. He ultimately confessed to murdering 49 women, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. Ridgway's arrest and conviction brought closure to decades of fear and uncertainty, but it also underscored the power of DNA technology in solving cold cases. Forensic science had evolved, transforming crime solving into a precise, data-driven process. Today, DNA analysis is more advanced than ever, capable of identifying suspects from even the smallest trace of biological material. The Green River case exemplified the importance of preserving evidence, no matter how seemingly insignificant. With genetic genealogy and advanced sequencing methods, forensic science continues to push the boundaries of what's possible. The Green River investigation marked a turning point in the application of forensic science. It demonstrated that even the most challenging cases could be solved with patience, perseverance, and the relentless advancement of technology. DNA profiling not only secured justice for the victims, but also reshaped the way crimes are investigated. In the end, the Green River case wasn't just about solving a crime. It was a testament to the power of science to illuminate the darkest corners of human behavior. As forensic technology continues to evolve, we are reminded that every new discovery brings us closer to uncovering the truth, no matter how deeply it's buried. From the courtroom of ancient Rome to the laboratories of modern forensic science, humanity's pursuit of justice has been a journey of innovation and discovery. Each landmark case we've explored reveals a pivotal moment in that journey, a time when science and determination converged to uncover hidden truths. These cases remind us that the quest for truth is as much about adaptation as it is about discovery. Forensic science has evolved from rhetorical arguments to chemical breakthroughs, from crude handwriting comparisons to precise genetic profiles. Each advancement has brought us closer to justice, even as new challenges emerge. But this is only the beginning. As technology advances, so too does our capacity to uncover the truth. From artificial intelligence to predictive analytics, the future of forensic science holds promise for solving crimes faster and more accurately than ever before. Forensic science is more than a collection of techniques. It is a testament to humanity's enduring commitment to truth and accountability. Each discovery, each innovation is a step toward a world where justice is not only sought, but achieved. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of forensic science. As we look to the future, one thing is certain: the pursuit of truth is a path we will never abandon. With each new breakthrough, we honor the past and build a stronger, more just tomorrow. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, science will always light the way to justice. Good night.